First Blood. The Allied forces at Snowcloak are in danger, and Lord Drillamont would have you assist him in ensuring their safety. We have long suspected that the heretics use a network of secret tunnels to traverse the highlands undetected. Given what you overheard, I fear that Snowcloak may be riddled with such passageways, and that the heretics in Boulder Downs are planning to use them to take our forces unawares. Needless to say, we cannot allow that to happen. A contingent of House Durandare knights are on patrol in the area, and I shall order them to begin searching for the heretics at once. But knowing nothing of our enemy's numbers or readiness, I cannot say for sure that they will be sufficient. It would put my mind at ease if you would consent to assist my knights with the search. I know they would take courage from the presence of so storied a warrior. Pray rendezvous with them at Boulder Downs. If Halone is kind, we may catch these heretics before their plans come to fruition. Show them no mercy, Lavenza. The lives of our allies are at stake. Yeah, I wonder if... I don't know, it was... I don't know if this is an interesting thought. It was an interesting thought to me. Of, the difference of going through this content between, like, knowing what to expect and not knowing what to expect. Because to me, I'm like, okay, like, Snowcloak, like, I know it's coming up, like, when are we going to do this? Where somebody that's never done it, has no idea that Snowcloak is a dungeon, and I wonder which one is worse. Not knowing what to expect and just kind of going with the flow, or knowing there's a dungeon coming up that you want to do and it just doesn't come. And then I also wonder narratively if they had just from the get-go said, oh yeah, they've made their way into Snowcloak. There's, like, we found that there's a network of tunnels. Let's follow them. And then it just goes straight into Snowcloak. Or if all of this other stuff of kind of having to work your way to that information, like, which way is better? I think certainly for new people that are trying to get to max level, like, probably just getting straight to it is better. But again, at the time, like, this was all the content we had, as it, again, came out in patches. And just out of range. And then even then, does it hurt the pacing and the narrative to, like, skip all of this stuff and just say, hey, yeah, like, they're going into Snowcloak. Here's the dungeon. I don't know. Fallen Heretics effects. And overall, I'm not saying I'm bothered by it. Like, again, a little bit of the anticipation of the dungeon is kind of like, okay, come on, come on, come on. But it's not like I'm like, oh my God, this is terrible. And so that's why I bring up the question of the anticipation of somebody experienced with the content versus somebody that doesn't know what's coming up. I would imagine it would be better for them because they just go with the flow. It's like watching a really good television show and knowing that, like, the next couple of episodes are, all right, nothing particularly special about them, but then, like, the fourth episode is just amazing and you're just waiting to get to that fourth episode. My knight sent no word of your coming, Lavenza. What has happened? What is that in your hand? Brittle parchment. Discovered on the body of a slain heretic. This yellowing document is covered in a complex code of seemingly random letters and numbers. By the Fury, those were veterans with years of service. And now they lie dead in the snow. Their bodies must be recovered, and... No, we have not the men to spare. Not now. Not while Iceheart prepares to summon an abomination. The heretics you dispatched were not of sufficient number to contend with the combined strength of the Temple Knights and the Crystal Braves. There must be others, and I'll wager they are on their way to Snowcloak as we speak. To make matters worse, it seems the traitor you followed managed to pass the heretics something of value after all. The parchment you recovered is a timetable of the guardsmen's watches at our outpost in Snowcloak. The traitor was stationed there long before he aroused our suspicions. Would that we had caught him sooner. With this information, the heretics would know when the watch was weakest. They could use their tunnels with impunity and prepare their ambush. The timetable has not changed, you see. Of course, it will be changed now, but the heretics may already be in position. House Durandare must send reinforcements, even if it means withdrawing knights from the Stone Vigil. I can see no other way to safeguard the lives of our allies. Okay, this is... You get the picture, you know something's coming up. Either a dungeon or a cutscene. The Path of the Righteous. Lord Drillamont recognizes that the situation in Snowcloak is coming to a head, and that decisive action must be taken. Time is of the essence, Lavenza. While my knights make ready to depart, the heretics may take our allies in Snowcloak unawares. Superior training and equipment will avail them not if they are cut down ere their swords are drawn. But all is not yet lost. If you leave now, there may still be time to warn them. Make haste, I beseech you. Fly to Snowcloak and tell Sir Emmerich everything we have discovered. I don't remember... I mean, I know there's heretics in Snowcloak, but even... they are like toward the end. And I don't recall seeing anything concerning Temple Knights or the Crystal Braves in there. But according to this, they're already supposed to be in there, right? Maybe I just never noticed the dead bodies strewn about. I love this effect. It just, I don't know, it just looks really nice when you're far away and the stuff glows. We have Alphino here. Sir Emmerich. He's over there. Have words with the man if you must. We shall speak anon. Oh, Yu Hase. Gods bless whoever designed this uniform. I would have frozen to death by now if it weren't for this greatcoat. So we have a bunch of people here. We are at a disadvantage here. We should linger no longer than necessary. How could any man hope to tunnel through ice this thick? It would be the work of years. Lavenza, this is a welcome surprise. Perhaps the only one thus far. As you can see, we have yet to uncover any hidden You have my gratitude. Truth be told, we suspected the heretics might be plotting such an attack. Now that we have confirmation, I shall place my knights on high alert. Has Commander Levier been informed? The Braves must be made aware. It must be here. I am certain of it. Why else would they go to such lengths to defend Snowcloak? 'Tis but a pity this discovery comes when our enemy has us at such a disadvantage. Forewarned though we be, the heretics know the terrain far better than we. I dare not think how many are watching us at this very moment. Confound it. This is all wrong. Iceheart has us scrambling to save our own skins when we should rightly be straining every sinew to find her and stop this damnable summoning. There she is. Come here, girl. That was close. They didn't hurt you, did they? Only my pride, Yida. Okay, so some of the temple knights were heretics, I guess, and were trying to kill Alpha now? There will be others nearby. We must see that they are given a similarly warm welcome. Commander Levier. There's been a development, sir. Together with the Temple Knights, we have secured the entrance to some half-dozen tunnels, after spotting the enemy breaking the surface. But that is not all, sir. We think that one of them may be important. Certainly the heretics near flung themselves upon our swords to defend it. Aha, just as I suspected. Amongst this warren of tunnels lies the entrance to Iceheart's lair. Summon the others. We're going in. A moment, Alphino. The tunnel in question is barely wide enough for 2 men abreast. We cannot say with any certainty where it leads, much less what is waiting for us there. Furthermore, we have no way of knowing how many heretics are still lurking here on the surface. But if they were to converge on this point after we entered the tunnel, for all we know, we could be funneling our forces into a trap. So, were those heretics in disguise or just heretics that just popped out of the tunnels? And I don't know. I take your point. If the tunnel is indeed as narrow as you say, greater numbers would be more a hindrance than a help. Should we encounter difficulty, our own allies would become an obstacle to escape. Just let me go in alone. It's what I do. A change of plans. While we rendezvous with Sir Emmerich and keep the heretics at bay here, you will go wherever that tunnel leads. If you find Iceheart at the end of it, do not let her escape. You venture into the unknown, so see that you are prepared for anything. I suggest you call upon your allies, though not too many, or Papalimo will sulk. We will hold the line, Lavenza. You may concentrate on the task at hand. We are at a disadvantage here. Yeah, that's the same. I am informed that Commander Levier has asked you to lead a party down one of the tunnels. A characteristically daring proposition. Yet I can think of no one better qualified for the task. I bid you good fortune. The entrance to the tunnel, madam. It's just over here. Had we not seen the heretics breaking the surface, we would never have noticed it. Per Sir Emmerich's orders, we will stand guard outside. Please be aware that uneven should you encounter. Oh God. Okay. Reading is hard. Please be aware that even should you encounter significant resistance, we cannot leave our post. It's like my mind is ahead of what I'm reading or something. Okay, so Snowcloak, undersized. Let us do this. I'm excited. Get to hear this music again. It kind of like every time I hear it, I think of Minecraft. I don't know if it's like the daytime music or the nighttime music, and like Minecraft from like nearly 10 years ago or whatever. I have not played it like since it was still in like alpha or beta or whatever that was. So I don't know if they've changed it since then, but it had the same kind of like 2-note. Definitely not one-shotting this stuff. I'm actually curious about the Yeti boss. And if I'm just going to be able to just beat him down straight up, or if it would still be advantageous to actually do the mechanics. I kind of want to do the mechanics anyway, just to have another example out there, so if anybody sees it, they can know this is the mechanics for this fight. Because too often doing this, like, people still don't actually know what the mechanics are. And then this dude has, like, the, I don't know, you call it, like, blizzard. At least blizzard visual effect that goes on. Which typically, like, you know, is a keep moving type thing. But I don't know if it functions the same way on this boss. Because I've run this tons of times, but I've never, I think, quite, like, nailed down if that's the case. Because I think I've stood still and, like, didn't get... Well, I know it doesn't freeze you, or at least not immediately, but it, like, puts stacks on you. And I think I've both moved and stood still and gotten stacks and not gotten stacks, so... I know I'm unsyncing this, and that's why it's moving through so quickly, but I'm almost kind of disappointed in that, just because, again, I like being in here. It's going to go by so quickly. Oh yeah, I can just rip the dude apart. I mean, I kind of figured as much, but, like, I know, you know, he's got, like, increased health or defense or whatever it is to regular attacks, so... But again, a lot of groups just burn him down now anyway, so... Again, it's like another dungeon or, you know, instance combat content that just has very chill music. Like, I could totally just play the soundtrack to this dungeon and just go to sleep to it. Now, big boy. Bigger they are, harder they fall. Now here's another little thing you may not know. These dudes, these Harriers, will cast something and then transform into a dragon. Unless you can stun them or kill them before the cast finishes. And if you can do that, you essentially avoid fighting 2 extra monsters, dragons. And then another boss where I can ignore the mechanics. Though I actually like the mechanics to this boss. And of course, you know, the Aetheryte, so this is where you summon a primal. Interestingly, no beast tribe associated to that Aetheryte. So I wonder, like, how Aetherites come about. So now likely cutscene. Is this the one that leads into Shiva?
The tales do not do you justice, warrior of light. Yes, I know who you are, and you know who I am. I was given the name Izel, but I earned the name Iceheart. This endless cycle of hatred, of bloodshed, of sorrow. You would see it continue, O noble warrior of light. I would not. I will not. I will bring an end to this war between dragon and man, no matter the cost. In time, you will come to understand that what we do for the greater good. For Eorzea, for Hydaelyn.
It's fascinating how they did kind of flip the script. You know, with Iceheart and Ishgard. Although, I mean, even before they really even started going into the story of like Iceheart and what she's all about, they already kind of showed you, well, I mean, Ishgard is being influenced by Ascians, so you kind of know that what they're doing is wrong. And you can almost just assume that anybody that's against them is probably right. But anyway, to have somebody that they make out to be the enemy that turns out to actually be the good guy, or at least an anti-hero. I mean, she has been killing temple knights for some time. That took longer than I expected. What news, Lavenza? Like, I blew through that, and he's like, well. So, Iceheart is but a pseudonym. Not that it matters. That she managed to escape is regrettable. But from your description of that beast, you did well to come as close as you did. In any case, now that you have cleared a path, the Temple Knights can begin to survey the tunnels in earnest. Mayhap they will even find a route past the ice wall. Wouldn't that do wonders for their fight against the heretics? The Crystal Braves would certainly share the credit for it too. 12 be praised, Lavenza. We may yet turn this situation to our advantage. Assuming we stop Iceheart before she summons Shiva, of course. Needless to say, our fellow Scions have not been idle. Minfilia and Urianger have been busy perusing the archives of House Fortin, gathering what information they can on Shiva. Which reminds me, if you were intending to trudge back to Camp Dragonhead to report on the day's events, don't. The antecedent should be here any moment. I can only assume some people enjoy subjecting themselves to this cold. Thank you for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to join me live, the link to my Twitch is down below. Thank you again for watching, and have a great one.